No, it's not. We're in Alaska, the land of the midnight sun. Actually, it goes past midnight and only have about an hour and a half of sleep time. So if you stay up all day, you'll stay up a bunch of time. Now that's loose. It's fixing to float off. That right there's not attached. And this is the Fairbanks Princess Hotel. And Joanne's standing in front of the water fountain. And right there's the plane we're going to go get on later. Maybe. If Joanne talk into it. Fairbanks, Alaska, 12th day of July, 1997.
Wow, record load. Wouldn't it be better to pack the money down?
Steve will be representing the United States Steve Bryce and Kevin Roscoe from Kirkland, Washington, will be representing the United States in the 1998 Winter Olympic Ice Sculpting Competition in Nagano, Japan, this coming February. They won the honor here in the U.S. Olympic Trials here in Fairbanks.
Is that made that way, or does...
Give each four-person team 12 blocks of ice. It's 4 by 4 by 40 inches thick. Plus, we provide a forklift so they can lift and stack. Yes, I've seen your big castle.
There's been something about a castle. They do this sometimes.
It's the University of Fairbanks. There goes Joe. Now there's the Caught you standing in front of the totem pole. Alright, got caught Joe, but good. And there's the
Oh, they got an old sea. This place is neat, like a park.
this boat carried only 18 inches of water empty and 3 feet of water full.
Don't go across.
Here's what we're going to tonight.
Well, Palace Theater and Salon.
Come on, little man.
Coach, I'm trying.
You should walk down through there. There's
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all remember that y'all in the A train.
Looks like a couple last ones, huh? We'll get the next three. I mentioned that they spend their wintertime digging, summertime washing, and I'll explain why. They start actually by panning in these creeks, the one we're passing over, looking for color, minerals associated with the gold, like lead or zinc. Then they'll dig a discovery shaft, and they dig in the wintertime because the permafrost has such great strength. They want to use that to their advantage, and the safety part. They'll dig down, they won't even need any timbers or lumber or shoring at all in the shafts and down in the tunnels. So they stockpile it all winter long, let the sun and heat thaw it out, and then they'll work it. So as we straighten out here, I'm going to show you one of the very first discovery shafts that were dug here on our property by the Swede brothers. This place has been operating actually since September of 1903. So coming into view on your left, some of you folks on the right want to stand up, go right ahead. And as we go by here, I'll describe. This is a winter operation here. We have a stockpile of material coming into view first. Of course, a fire and tent to keep warm, a runner board for the wheelbarrow. Matter of fact, Mike's working that wheelbarrow right now. Donnie's going to let this bucket on a spindle back down. It's got a nickname of Windlass. This shaft is only 14 feet deep, by the way. They have little steps there. They go down there, fill that bucket up, and back up the steps, and they both work it together. Thanks a lot, guys. Stockpile it all winter long, let the sun and heat thaw that out, then wash it. What we do normally with the shaft is we cover it up with moss and logs just to keep it cool. On your right here is what the material looks like after the sun and heat and rain gets to it when it comes out of the tunnel. Now remember, we're down less than 18 feet. I do have some lighting along the walls here on some of the segments when we get inside, so you can look at some of the very, very old strata. As we enter and exit, I want you to keep your elbows and cameras in. What we did do is we cut a hole through the side of this mountain, covered it over, reinforced it with concrete and steel for your safety. We also found some bones of prehistoric animals we're going to show you that date back 10 to 30,000 years. Some of you folks on the left up here now, next couple sections here, there's a few bones sticking out of the sections. Right here, see that on the left? That's a three-toed horse, by the way. Now, coming into view on your right, you're going to see a light, and that light is a carbide lantern on top of a hard hat, worn by Tim, and he sampling material the way they did back in the gold rush days. We're going to be introduced to him here in just about a minute, folks. By the time we come to a full stop, we'll put the brakes on first. Then we'll shut the engines down, and all you folks on the outside on the left can stand up and look across to the right. And then he's going to say good morning to you, and you can please give him a big hello, Tim, for me. Okay, here come the brakes. We're going to shut the engines down next here. You folks on the outside on the left, stand up, get comfortable, lean against those bars if you'd like. And give me a few seconds here to bring the light up. Tim, I'd like to say good morning to you. I have a great group of folks here visiting the El Dorado. The A train has arrived. Would you please take a little bit of your expert time now and talk about our tunnel drift mining for these folks?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Wow, that's a nice bunch. I don't suppose Earl had anything to do with that, did he?
No.
Of course not. Well, as Earl said, I'm here to share with you a little bit about how they did tunnel and drift mining back in the old days. As Earl probably mentioned to you, those miners spent their winters digging. They would begin by digging shafts straight down until they hit bedrock. Now behind me here against the wall, you can see what that bedrock looks like. The bedrock is settled down below here. It forms a distinctive line that sort of goes up this way and goes down over there. Everyone see that line? Now for those of you in the back, the same formations are more easily visible in this space over here. I'll point that out as well. The bedrock begins down below here and forms a line that goes up this way. This is all bedrock that's been broken up and moved around and heaved and buckled. You might notice with this particular section how the bedrock slanting down is dipping underneath me here, and it comes back up over on this side. Now that heaving and buckling is the result of thousands and thousands of years of activity in the Earth's crust. Plate tectonics and seismic activity are other, well, scientific names used to describe that kind of thing. Where over the years, different stones and minerals are moved around and deposited in various locations of the Earth. Now up above the bedrock and through here, in this region as well, are gravels. Now this is a layer of stones that have been washed away through the riverways and valleys. And up above the gravels and in through there is the overburden, or muck. And it's basically just frozen dirt. It consists of organic materials and various clays and minerals and soils. Now, when those miners were digging these tunnels, what they were looking for was, of course, gold. And as they knew, gold is extremely heavy. So, over the years, after the quartz that the gold was originally formed with broke up, that heavy gold was free and allowed to settle and trickle down through all of this material down to the bedrock, where it would drift along and collect into pockets. Now, those pockets are what the miners were chasing, and that's why they would dig down this far. Now, obviously, though, when the miners discovered the gold was settled down this deep, the problem they were facing was how first to get through all of this material above it, which at first was pretty difficult for them. Because thousands of years ago, during the Ice Age, all of this material froze solid and became known as permafrost. Well, being underground is nothing new to miners, and they quickly discovered steam as an easy solution for dealing with this permafrost. Up above on the surface, they would fire a boiler. And they would send steam down along these lines here, where it would come out to points like this one. And they would use that steam to simply thaw away the walls and ceilings so they could chip and scoop up the material, and then they haul it to the bottom of the shafts and ore cars along these railways here. Well, even with that easier means of getting through the permafrost, it was still quite a lot of exhausting work for them to get down here. So before they'd even begin digging, they looked for some form of sign or guarantee from Mother Nature to make all this worth their while. And in particular, they looked for other mineral deposits, like you'll see over there. Now this is a zinc deposit. Can everyone see this big bluish gray vein here? Now there's some other minerals in there as well, to include some lead, some silver, some antimony. None of it here quite enough to be worth mining, but certainly enough to indicate that that gold is likely to be nearby, as gold is commonly associated with these other minerals. So when they spot these veins on the surface, they follow them. They dig down here to the bedrock and branch out in several directions along this floor in search of that gold vein. We're going to show you one of the ore mines. They use a little material. Tell you what, you see quite a lot around here. Now, at first glance, a lot of these stones are pretty plain looking. If you take some of them though and dust them off and look a little closer, you can see they shimmer somewhat, kind of silvery. Can you see that sparkle there? Now, there's several different names for this material. One of them is mica. You're going to hear that name used quite a lot, especially when you do your gold pan up above, because mica is going to appear in abundance in your gold pan, and it's going to shine with it like this, particularly when it's wet and clean. But don't let it fool you into thinking that it's gold, because it isn't. It's basically just a decomposed, broken up bedrock, just like that stuff I pointed down the wall over there. For being a rock, it's fairly flaky and fragile. If you take any little piece you think might be gold, you try to break it. If it does break up and crumble away, it's mica, certainly not gold. Gold is a very soft and malleable metal. It would bend before it would ever break. Now, another interesting term for this material, and perhaps to make my point a bit more clear, is leverite. Or in other words, leave her right there, it's worthless. Keep an eye out for this mica stuff. Thanks, guys. All this fun. As you can imagine, it was actually quite a fair amount of work for them to push those clumsy old ore cars along. They're headed up to the surface now with that load. I'll join them in a moment and show you more about the above-ground operations there. Now behind me here, you can see a pile of bones. These are the skeletal remains of animals that existed 10 to 30,000 years ago, and typically include specimens like the woolly mammoth, or the saber-toothed tiger, or you may have heard of the three-toed horse, just to name a few. Now we happen to have a small tusk fragment from one of those woolly mammoths, quite a prize for us. Universities across the country collect these remains for study. In fact, today they have more than they can possibly handle from this region, so they only accept the most extraordinary finds from them. And therefore we're allowed to keep these remains here. Now we have more bones for you to look at up top. For now, they'll all stand up there by the front car, and you can get a closer peek at this tusk and way out. Well, that's about all I have for them down here, Earl. Boy, unless I could put them to work, they did sound pretty spunky this morning.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Thank you. Thanks, Tim. We'll see you in the next bucket. pass over a bridge here. Fox Creek continues on.
Is it wrong?
See which one of these young guys gets around pretty good here this morning. Mike, good morning. How are you? Have a look at his cabin first of all. You may not notice right off, but it's built right inside the mountain. Simple reason for it. They do it that way a lot. It's just easier to keep them warm during the cold winter temperatures. All the material on the roof there, the moss and logs, mud and grass, and the logs just for the building itself, you got all here from the surrounding area. As a matter of fact, this little wood stove is stoked up so you can see that working good. He's got some material in a bucket. He's going to put it in the top of our little rocker box. That's what it's called, folks. Watch the action and you'll see why. See, a separation process has started now when we do that. Now there's a screen in the top that'll catch large rocks, and if he's lucky now and then a large piece of gold. Inside on the bottom there are wood ripples. They actually look like ribs. There's 4 of them. He'll trap the rest of the material. Then he's going to get a gold pan, take some of the material from the wood riffle area, and pan it right down the creek for us. Any luck there, Mike? Not this time. Thank you very much, though. We appreciate the demonstration. We'll see you up at the cook shack. Have a seat up again, like we did in the tunnel. You folks on the left can stand up. What happened now is Tim, inside the Fairbanks tunnel, followed the ore car here to the bottom of a shaft. He's going to hop in a bucket and come on up. And this is what it would look like right around the turn of the century for what we call above ground mining. There's a big cylinder in the background here. That's a wood-fired boiler. The pickles come to the top of the shaft. Down the shaft is a bucket here. Aaron is working the little steam engine here, and he's going to bring them up for us once we get stopped here. So you might want to get your cameras ready in case you want to get a picture of him. Here he comes.
Oh, that's a decent.
As I was saying, the bottom of these shafts, they have one of those ore cars, like what the guys are pushing along there. They lower one of these muck buckets down the shaft so they can unload the ore cars into the bucket. They then hoist the buckets back up and run them up this way to that pole, called the gym pole. Where the buckets would be unloaded. They would come back down and land into these holes here. You reset for the next load. Those piles there, we got pretty big. So they move the gym poles around if they needed to for more room. Well, when the summertime would come, they let the piles thaw out so they could wash all the gold from them. And that required a great deal of high-pressure water. Well, their summer work would begin by trenching. For miles at the top of these high ridges here, it would serve to collect and channel millions of gallons of water downhill to these hydraulic water cannons. Those water cannons would then be used to blast those piles clean and wash all the gold through their sluice boxes they have set up nearby. Now in those days, the sluice boxes were pretty crude and simple. They were made out of wood with wooden ripples and burlap to catch the gold. Nowadays, they're made out of steel with steel ripples and astroturf, much more efficient that way. Now behind me here next to Donnie is the boiler I was referring to. They were fueled by wood. They would eat an entire cord of wood a day. They would clear whole hillsides to keep them fueled. That's why they called them the dragons. They would eat so much wood and breathe fire and put smoke everywhere. But of course, what the boiler would do is boil the water. It would send the steam out along these black lines here, some going down below to the tunnels, and one to thaw those piles, and some others to go to their steam engines, like the one Andrew's operating for us. They would call those the steam donkey. The name is indicative of their almost stubborn and very often untimely breakdowns, as we've so amply demonstrated for you this morning. However, they remain very capable of making this work a whole lot easier for those miners. All that remains today of that era are just a few remnants of equipment like this and many memories. But, of course, the spirit of gold fever lives on in modern form, and that's what we're going to show you now.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you, Andrew. Thanks, Bonnie. We'll see you guys up at the cook shack. Have a seat, please, folks. One more stop to make and we're there.
To the mine site.
Well, folks, I got bitten by that gold bug 20 years ago this summer. About 130 miles northeast of here. I was mining that $1 million a mile Harrison Creek, just this side of the Arctic Circle. A couple summers later, still working in the same area, I met my match, Yukon Yonda.
Yo, baby.
Together we followed our dreams by a half a dozen streams. Till 4 years ago, we were offered the opportunity to check out these El Dorado claims. We like what we see here, so we moved part of our operation over. Then last year, the mining claims here changed hands, fell into the ownership of the Alaska Mental Health Trust. We just went ahead and worked out a deal with the trustees in exchange for working their ground. A little of what we do here today will go to benefit that trust. Now, we want y'all to have fun. That's the whole idea. So I'd ask you, when we do get back to that sluice box, for safety's sake, please do not step into that sluice box or try to step all the way across it. Thanks.
That's good advice. The El Dorado crew is going to give you a hand with the doors on the train. We have umbrellas available for you to grab. It said that the box was guarded by God, the Alaska State Troopers, and a loaded 30-06. We're a whole lot more friendlier than that. Go ahead, honey.
Well, isn't this just exactly what everybody expected to see when they knew they were going to the class and don't mind the rain? Not really, huh? Well, let me tell you about my first day out, because I spent over half of that day looking for some hole up in the side of the mountain that I figured my buddies were getting all their gold out of. They had to explain it to me right then and there. I want to make sure everybody understands this. You see, 99 out of 100 gold mines are the other kind, where the hard rock miner tunnels into or takes the top off of a mountain looking for or following a vein of gold-bearing ore. Placer mining is a whole different story. See, we wait thousands of years for the same gold that was formed up in the mountain. We crushed out of that ore by the forces of nature, and the gold washed down the mountainside, along with some rocks and sands and gravel, which end up together way down in the bottom of the creek bed, concentrated in a pay streak, usually just above the bedrock. So instead of looking for some old vein up in the mountain, Yukon and I are hunting out the pay streaks down in the valley. Over the summers, we've gotten pretty good at locating the pay streaks. The rock, the sand and gravel we bring out of that pay streak is our pay dirt. You'll probably hear us call it the pay or just plain dirt. Pay dirt we're working today, stockpiled alongside the back.
Yeah.
Try to keep the camera break it down into pans. That way you can check the dirt at any time. We've been using this ripple for over 15 years. What we found is many things. For one, it keeps us on the pay streak. But the other side of the coin that we found is it narrows and lessens our impact on the claims themselves by better definition of the pay using this ripple.
Cap and a concentrate, so we've already shoveled up out of the sluice. Once in the panning area with that bag of dirt, pick a spot by any empty gold pan, dump the whole bag of dirt in the pan, then fill that pan with water. Start to swirl it around. You hear that grinding sound?
That's the gold.
Your first clue that everything's going just right. Keep swirling. There you are. Pans for gold in Alaska. Sort of looks like a stone soup or something, doesn't it? Now, I know that doesn't sound very technical, but if you want to get the gold out of these concentrates, first thing you do, get it real soupy. The gold is so heavy, like a man in quicksand, it will go to the bottom of the pan. That leaves this top layer with absolutely no gold in it. So we'll start to wash away that top layer, moving the water with an action that compares to a wave coming in out of an ocean at the beach. The wave is picking up some of the lighter top, deep sand, and gravel, carrying it back into the ocean with a deep wave. Some larger stones that aren't washing out. Leave a little water in the pan. The very biggest, you may need to pick out one at a time. I like raking them back in a group so I can get a mess of them over to one side of the pan. Still want to rinse them off so there's no gold stuck to them, and then you can get them out of there. And we're right back to that first step, making soup again. There's that grinding sound. Let's do it again. Work the soup towards the edge of the pan. Stop and shake it. Let the water out. At the same angle the water left the pan, we go back to the beach and dip. Each dip, just a little water coming in, picking up the very top layer, carrying it right back into our tub with each little wave. Got some larger stones, leave some water in the pan, break those rocks away from the rest of the concentrate, rinse them off, get them out of there.
Don't swallow.
The bigger ones you may need to pick out. Here we are making soup again. See how simple? Now just in case you forget one of these steps, our panning helpers to the rescue. Colin, he was helping on the water already. Nathaniel was hanging out on the bridge a little earlier. These fellows are going to be up in the panning area, along with the rest of our crew members, standing by to help out with the panning. So if you need a little help getting it going, or just so we're sure everything's going along great, call on any one of our helpers. We're all in this together. We want you to find some gold. Now, if you find yourself waiting for some help and you're just not sure what to do, I know you don't want to lose any gold. So let me tell you about the big rocks. They just keep getting smaller. A little water in the pan, flatten everything out. There's the bigger stones with their heads peeking up through the water. Break them away from the rest of the dirt. Rinse them off. And if your neighbor ain't looking, just slip them in his pan. Let him deal with them. Right here at the very last. This last spoonful of concentrate. If there's some gold in this pan, it's down that in the dirt. So we're going to give this some special treatment. Gather up that remaining concentrate along with about a half a cup of water. Put the concentrate on one side of the pan, the water over here on the other. Now let this water whirl over.
There sits Tilly with about 12 ounces of gold. Oops, that's just 12 ounces of dirt.
Dirt. Hey, we got dirt.
All right, dropped her gold pouch. And Joanne's fixing to pour it out. Joanne's got the big amount of gold in her pocket, probably at least a 1/10 of a 1/16 of an ounce.